pictures from the day yesterday. I'm going to just turn it over here. All right, what do we got? What do we got? Oh, maybe we don't. All right, look at this at the pool. How about that? Allie was just sunbathing. It was awesome. Jamar and Paul. What else do we have? How about when Vinny went off the diving board? Where's Vinny? Awesome. Anything else? Oh yeah, muscles. That's awesome. All right, I think there might be one more. Is that true? Have a seat, man. Maybe not. That's all right. Oh, there we go. There we go. Some more friends at the pool. All right. Hey, I want to know. I've got 3 people to tell me, what was your favorite memory of yesterday? Let's raise our hands. What was your favorite memory? All right, right here.
Jumping off the diving board.
Jumping off the diving board. All right. Give it up for Brian. All right, how about Maya over here? Can you stand up?
Swimming in the pool.
Swimming in the pool.
Yeah, swimming.
That's right. All right, one more. How about Paul?
Pizza.
Pizza. Who loves that?
Pizza, yeah.
Why are we booing pizza? How could you ever do that? All right. You guys can come up to me later and tell me your favorite memory. We don't have time to get to everyone, okay? All right. Well, hey guys, we're going to talk about some really important stuff today. So I want you all to take a deep breath and get all the energy out so that we can really focus. So as we know, we've been talking about a verse, John 10:10, right? John 10:10, and that verse says that, oh, I never know where to begin here. That I have come, Jesus is saying, I have come that they may have life and have it to the full, right? Have a seat, Elijah. You can do that after. All right, so on the count of 3, I want to say life to the full really loud together. Do you think you guys can do that? All right, ready? Life to the full. 1, 2, 3. Life to the full. That's right. All right, and I don't know if you remember yesterday, we got to talk about a woman, a Samaritan woman by the well. And Jesus had a really significant interaction with her, right? She had a really significant interaction with Jesus. And she got to talk to him, and her life was changed forever. Remember, she went from feeling on the outside, which means that she wasn't included in a lot of things, and no one really liked her, to feeling on the inside and loved by Jesus. Shh, have a seat. So we're going to talk about another story today. We're going to talk about John 10:10 again, and another story from the Bible of a person who had a really significant relationship and interaction with Jesus, and how they experienced life to the full because of that. Does that sound good? Yeah. It's a good idea. I agree, Lauren. All right, have a seat, have a seat. All right, so this story today comes from Luke 19. Okay, Luke is another book in the New Testament. And so when we pick up this story, Jesus, again, like the last 2 days, has been traveling around everywhere. And he's in a new place, all right? So I want you to listen closely, all right? So in Luke 19, we're going to start in verse 1. It says, Jesus entered Jericho and was passing through. A man was there by the name of Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector and was wealthy. So it says that Zacchaeus was a tax collector. And what a tax collector was is a person who worked for the city, who went around to every house and had to collect money from each house. Okay, it was just kind of part of what you had to do. As you earned money, you had to give money back to the city. We still have to do that today. And that was called a tax collector. But here's the thing, it says he was a chief tax collector. So a chief tax collector means that he was really high up in the town. Okay, everyone knew him. He was really high up and really important. People really counted on him. But here's the thing about Zacchaeus, is that he wasn't an honest man. He was not honest. All right, I want you guys to look up here, all right? Look up here. Jesus was an honest man. Zacchaeus was not an honest man. It says he was wealthy. So what that means is that when Zacchaeus was going around to each house, we'll talk after, all right, Aiden? When Zacchaeus was going around to every house, you know, the city of Jericho would say, I need 20% of your income. You know, I need $20 of your income. But what Zacchaeus would do, is say, I need 40. I need $40. So he was greedy, that's right, he was very greedy and mean, yeah. So what he would do is he would take extra and cheat. He would take extra from the family and pocket it. So that's how Zacchaeus became wealthy. He was not an honest man because he would kind of cheat people out and steal money from them. He was so greedy, he lied a lot. And here's the thing about people like that, is that people know when people are lying to them, right? So this whole town did not like Zacchaeus, right? Zacchaeus was a hated person in the town of Jericho. So here we go, I want to keep reading. Verse 3, listen closely. It says, Zacchaeus wanted to see who Jesus was, but because he was short, he could not see over the crowd. So he ran ahead and climbed a tree to see Jesus, since Jesus was coming that way. So Zacchaeus knew that Jesus was coming into town, coming through, and because he was short, and there were so many crowds of people, he knew he wasn't going to be able to see. And so he climbed up into a tree. I think I got a picture so you can kind of visualize this. A sycamore tree, that's right. He climbed up to a tree. He's kind of struggling in that picture a little bit. But you can see he's trying to look at Jesus. And whenever I read this story, I always wonder why. You know, I wonder why, you're a little stuck, there you go. I wonder why Zacchaeus wanted to see Jesus. Maybe he knew he was famous, right? When we know there's a famous, if Taylor Swift was coming around town in Virginia Beach, right? We would all be there, right? So maybe he knew that Jesus was famous and a little bit about Jesus, and he knew he wanted to see him. But I also wonder if he knew that Jesus tended to love people like him. People who were liars. You don't think so? All right, well, let's keep reading, So I just wonder why he wanted to see Jesus so bad. And so whatever reason he wanted to see Jesus, we know that he was really committed to it because he climbed up into a tree, right? So listen carefully. In verse 5, we're going to keep reading. It says, when Jesus reached the spot, he looked up to Zacchaeus and said to him, Zacchaeus, come down immediately. I must stay at your house today. So Jesus and all the people he was walking with got to the tree where Zacchaeus was. Oh, it's gone, that's right. Got to the tree where Zacchaeus was and stopped right under that tree. Now I wonder what Zacchaeus did. You know, that super important, yeah, he was surprised, that super important person stopped right where he was in the tree. I wonder if he panicked, because he knows I'm not a good man, and Jesus is, and so I wonder what's going to happen. But just as we read, I want to read it one more time, what Jesus says to Zacchaeus. Listen closely. Jesus says, Zacchaeus, come down immediately. I want to stay at your house tonight. So instead of Jesus yelling at Zacchaeus, he calls him by name. Isn't it special when someone knows your name and calls you by name? You're like, oh, I didn't know that person even remembered my name. Isn't it kind of cool? That's a really big deal that Jesus did that. When Jesus calls people by name in the Bible, this is what Jesus is saying. He's saying, I know you, and I know everything about your life, and I still love you. It's a really big deal when Jesus calls people by his name, and that's what he does. He gently says, Zacchaeus, come down. And not only that, he says, I want to stay at your house tonight. Jesus invites himself over to Zacchaeus' house. And that didn't happen very often. Jesus did not go into places he wasn't invited very often. You know, he really just said, Zacchaeus, I'm coming over tonight, right? He said, I'm doing that. And so this is a really big deal, that not only would he address him by name, he would say Zacchaeus, but also that he wanted to come to his house. And listen to Zacchaeus' response. Shh, I want you to listen closely. In verse 6 it says, so Zacchaeus came down at once and welcomed him gladly. He didn't even think twice. As soon as Jesus invited him down from the tree, he wanted it. Right? And we saw that yesterday with the Samaritan woman. Remember, as soon as Jesus offered her living water, she wanted it. And she wanted it more than the well water. Remember? So Zacchaeus comes right down from that tree, and I think it's because no one's really been this kind to him in a long time. I bet that because of the lying and the cheating and the stealing, no one had even called him by name in a long time. People just wanted him gone. So listen to this. In verse 7 it says, all the people around, standing around, saw this and began to mutter, Jesus has gone to be the guest of a sinner. So they're shocked. These people are shocked, right? They're like, what? Out of all of us that are here in Jericho, you want to go to Zacchaeus' house? He's the worst person in town. He steals all the money from us. So they were shocked. And listen to this. In verse 8 it says, but Zacchaeus stood up and said to Jesus, look, Lord, here now I give half of my possessions to the poor, and if I have cheated anybody out of anything, I will pay them back 4 times the amount. So Zacchaeus was changed immediately, right? As soon as Jesus called him down from the tree and said, I want to be with you, he immediately says, I need to say sorry for what I've done. I need to repay back the money that I have stolen from everyone in this town. So for the first time, Zacchaeus really knows, gosh, I'm loved, and I don't have to live like this. I don't have to be a liar. Jesus loves me. So we're almost done. A couple more verses. In verse 9 it says, Jesus said to Zacchaeus, today salvation has come to this house because this man too is a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man came to seek and save the lost. So basically what he's saying by that is he's explaining to the whole crowd, Zacchaeus is different. He has changed and he is a new man. And Jesus is explaining that to everyone. And that's what happened. Zacchaeus was different. Because of his relationship with Jesus and his interaction with Jesus, he was a different person, right? We talked about in the beginning, he was so obsessed with money, he was so obsessed with stealing and lying that he couldn't even see Jesus. He couldn't even see him. He was looking for all the stuff in the wrong places. He was looking for friends and acceptance in all the wrong places when he really just needed Jesus. And so Jesus knew it, and he exclaimed it to everyone that this man is different. He went from being a thief and a liar to being loved and being cherished. And that's what we're talking about this week, right? How when we're in a relationship with Jesus, we can experience life to the full. Just like John 10:10 says, right? Jesus says in John 10:10, I have come that they may have life and have it to the full. Can we say that together one more time, life to the full? Yeah? All right. 1, 2, 3. Life to the full. That's right. So I'm really excited for today. I think we're going to have so much fun at the zoo. We're going to see a lot of animals. It's going to be awesome. But here's what I want you to know. Hold on. Tomorrow is going to be really important. I'm really excited for tomorrow. Because tomorrow we're going to talk about you and me. We're going to talk about us. And how we can have a relationship with Jesus and what Jesus did for us to make that possible. So it's going to be such a great day today, and I'm so excited to get to talk to you guys again tomorrow. All right, so I'm going to pray, and then I think we're going to sing a song.